y'all. Hope everybody good. Have a great day. You know what I'm saying? Happy 2026, man. We grooving and we moving, man. We inside, we outside, we everywhere. Peace to everybody, man. Look at the hair, look at the locks, man. Hopefully find somebody to braid my shit like old school days, baby. Yeah, man. Growing hair is a cool thing when you reach the 44 club, man. A lot of folk think I'm in my 20s, man. Nah, I'm an old head, man. I'm proud to be an uncle, man. Zay Dollar, one of them old niggas, you heard? Finally. What up, Chris Day? My bad, Chris. I was talking to my boy, my nigga from New York. You know, the love, you know what I mean? Missing me and shit like that. So it's always good to have friends and people that, were more than friends. They were family. So shout out to them. And what up, Christy? How you doing, man? What up, everybody? Let's get the room popping, man. But I'm glad you in here, Christy. Hope everything good. You know what I'm saying? Probably gonna do some lunch later for the little man. But hope the weather's good out there too. And yeah, man, there's a lot going on. I saw a plane crash into a fire truck in New York. It's a lot of craziness, man. They're talking about drafting women into the war. I don't like that, but I guess equality. I still don't like it though. Finally, right? I get to finally. Let's go. Yeah, man. I hope the weather gets, we all know Michigan weather, man. It's like Chicago to me, very cold, bitter sometimes, snowy. You caught that? Yeah, I did. OMG. Ladies, what's going on, Nene? What's going on, Chris? Hope everybody good, man. What's up, wife? What's up, everybody? Thanks for the love. Thanks for the thumbs up. Nene in the crib, man. I get my yo. Thank you, ladies. Having a female audience, once again, your perspective, your soft touch, the way you guys think and the way you guys survived. Here's your flowers, hearts up. You know what I mean? And you know, it's amazing. You know what I mean? Mothers, we forget about that. We're so quick to, be slick to people. We forget that, we're human. You know what I mean? But love is love, man. Thank you for rocking with the kid. Once again, thanks for the thumbs. Thanks for the support and all that good stuff, man. But yeah, Zay Dollar random. We outside. Uh, got the jersey on. You know what I'm saying? Let's see the little drippy. Got the little Nike shorts. Look at Zay Dollar's toesy woesies. You know what I mean? Got the shades, but look at the back of this. So the front, it says whatever it says, right? But I love the back, man. I love the back. Yeah, New York City, baby. Yeah. I'm good. You see? Yeah, I'm doing good, man. A lot better, you know what I'm saying? After that stupid trolling. But other than that, man, yes, what was it, Saturday? We went to Venice Beach, like I said. I dropped a video. My wife did that compilation. Shout out to her. And it's raining here. Yo, you know what? I like rain. I like, you ever been in an area where it's very forestry and rain makes that smell? I don't know what it is. It's just nature, right? But shout out to rain, man. I remember, yo, no lie. I used to put on like a rain suit and just, parents used to let us play in rain and shit, man. But yeah, shout out to rain, man. If you don't know, Zay Dollar likes to listen to. I put on Thunder Rain, like to go to sleep, and that shit puts me to sleep like a baby. What up, Paul? How you doing, Paul? What's up, Paul? Thank you for rocking with me. Thanks for the support, Paul. Thanks for being a regular, Paul. I appreciate you. I hope everything's good where you at, Paul. But yeah, Paul Brown, thanks for rocking with the kid. And like I said, I appreciate you. And I hope everybody's having a great day. You know what I mean? As much as you can. I know, life is life. And it's like, Zay, not everything is pop, but I hope it is. You know what I mean? I hope we could strive for that, right? We could always strive for a good day, happiness, and just getting through alive. A lot of folk are just going, man. Crew, what up, girl? Shout out to Crew, man. Crew, Nene, Christy, Paul, man. Shout out to the ladies, man. I dig it, man. I love it, man. And I also like me. I like being me, meaning like not a thirsty bucket, right? Like, every time men see women, always got, yo, what up, man? How you doing, girl? It's like, yo, man, they ladies, man. I bless my mom for having a sister that I was able to grow up with a girl, right? And know that, yo, women, you can't talk to them like they, got respect them. You know what I'm saying? And in order to gain respect, you gotta, earn it sometimes. And I think that's a beautiful thing. So thank my audience for being, who you guys are. But what up, folk? How y'all doing? Always having great dialogue with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Gonna light this little L. I'm not gonna smoke as much anymore because I've been getting high. If you don't know, you see what I do. I light, I clip, I light. I'm not like, I get high very easily. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good thing. But I tell you this, I smoke now. I won't smoke throughout the whole day, and then at night, right before I go to sleepy time, I do that. But what up, everybody? How y'all doing? I already asked Christy how the weather is where you guys are. Hope everything's good. It's about 10:28 a.m. on my side. West Coast, West Coast, you know what I mean? And yeah, like I said, man, the world is spinning and they definitely trying to distract us as much as they can, man. So I'm watching this thing called it's like something Merlin, right? It's a show. But one of the things I saw was like because they don't have a phone or distractions, literally it's raining and he's just sitting there thinking, like and I don't think a lot of folk have time to think, time to be themselves. You know what I'm saying? I always said if they gave time to people, if we weren't so into I gotta pay this bill and rent and all this shit, I bet we have more geniuses. I bet we'll have more people, you know, doing, aiming for, prosperity or better, you know what I mean? Because, you don't have time, man. And they say, yeah, you have time, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of folk, once they clock out, they clocking in somewhere else. That's a hard life, man. Did you hear about the people coming forth and seeing Bigfoot since the recent meteor falling in Ohio? No way, Nene. Random. Let's talk about that creature. Let's talk about Bigfoot, man. And to those that don't believe he's a real life creature, let me tell you, man. There's things in the forest, there's things that are living, there's things in our ocean that we still don't know. We still haven't found. You know, what surprises me is daily, even yearly, you still have people finding various bugs or oh, we found a new species. So think about it like that, man. The fact that they're still finding is just bugged out. But yeah, man, Bigfoot. I always say whenever there's a huge something regarding their home, they move, man. You won't see movement. You know what I mean? But damn, a meteor, yo, I wish I was in Ohio. Some of those pieces are just worth so much money, man. But a meteor falling in Ohio, man. Shout out to Ohio, um, Anchorage. That's where Cleveland, Ohio. That's where LeBron James, born and played. But wow, man, a meteor falling and then sightings of Bigfoot moving. That is insane, man. And I believe he's just a slick creature, man. He just knows how to move. That's his kitchen, man. There's cave works that we still haven't, fundamentally, found or dig into. There's so many little hidden areas in America that it's a good but bad thing. But it's funny, random coast to coast, Art Bell. Yo, when I used to listen to Art Bell in 08, 09, right? 07, 06, yo, they were already talking about UFOs, exorcisms, Bigfoot, inside job 9/11, like various topics that, a lot of news people don't like to dive into. A, because of the conspiracy behind it, or B, because of the lack of, factual evidence. But I tell people every day, deers die every day, B, and you don't see skeletons all over the forest, do you? The forest or nature has a way of disposing its own evidence. It's a beautiful thing. Everything is in contingent, right? Everything is cycled. So a flower dies, the ants sting, and the process just continues, man. But thank you, Nene. That is wild, y'all. What do you think, everybody? What do y'all think? Do you believe in Bigfoot? Is Bigfoot something that you think exists, or is it just something that fundamentally we invented with our own imagination? That's true too. You know what I'm saying? You can make yourself hear and see things. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm a firm believer that that creature is walking and breathing and moving. Like you know what I mean? Like, but that's another thing that like I find funny is like now the government is like aliens exist, and then you just see. Remember our atmosphere used to hold a lot of meteors from crashing? By the time they come into our atmosphere, they usually dispose or break up, right? But I've seen videos in Russia where they literally see a bright light in the sky, woof, and boom. And people don't understand the energy. Literally, you could drop a penny from a plane, and that shit will literally go through somebody's skull, man. So that energy, the gravitational pull, coming towards this earth, huge explosion that probably created a lot of stuff is resurfacing. I'm going to watch the documentary about Will Smith going to Antarctica. I'm gonna do that too. It's a desert that holds 60% of the fresh water. Why is it off limits? Why, ladies and gentlemen? Why is Antarctica a no-fly zone? Why is Antarctica one of them places that a lot of countries or all countries I don't think anybody owns it or something. It's like really off the grid, man. You can't go there, you can't. And that's where a lot of folks say that we're surrounded by ice, because there's something about that. Like we can't get past this. And I know the weather is very, it's one of the nastiest weathers out there, man. Frigid, of course cold, you know what I mean? But I always found that, polar bears exist. So, things exist out there, you know what I'm saying? But why? Why do you guys not want us to see Antarctica in all its glory? When I lived in Massachusetts, I saw ghosts in my room when I turned the light off. Paul, and that's a fact. People don't like to, see or hear things like that because, a lot of folk don't like to, you know, it'll mess with a lot of religions if ghosts are real, right? If ghosts, meaning like if after this lifetime you don't reach that other line, you're here. Your energy, your spirit. So there's something about that, man. And I always was a firm believer of the outer, basically outer limits, right? Like what do they call that? Supernatural, right? I've seen that ghost. I seen the ghost of my nephew in my room last year. It was while my deceased ex-husband. Damn, Nene, the devil was bothering. My husband saw the chair rocking. That's another thing, man. We have to understand, man. There's certain things that could lock on to you. People feel cursed. That's because something is following you. Like and of course, people are seeing things, you know what I mean? And I feel like the veil is unlifting. My wife said that the veil is unlifting. So there's a lot of things that we're going to start seeing. 2026 is going to be a reveal year. You see why we're in war, man. It needed to happen. I don't know how much so because it's messing up a lot of things over here, but let's get it over with already, I guess. But there's a lot of stuff, man. And you know what bugs me out is culturally, they have the Bigfoot everywhere. That's why I think it's real. Not one culture is saying, yo, see? And I like Trump for that. I like that Trump went into that office, was like, yo, let me see these papers on this and that, yo. Because you needed to be, what's that called? On the oath. Once the president is, passes that, he's able to go into certain files that are like off, low key, not supposed to be brought up. Like, he was into the JFK reports. He was into the alien joints. You know what I'm saying? Trump, I think his first term, he created a space army, right? Like he ain't playing. He is not playing. He knows there's something either coming or something in our airwaves. You know what I mean? Maybe we're in the midst of a highway, like we're in the center of a highway where things are flying. But Yeah, we're somewhere. Nah, you good, Darius. You good, pa. I hope everything good with you, Darius. What's up, dig? What's up, pa? I gotta go to work. Paul Brown, have a great day, pa. You know what I mean? Thank you for that ghost story. And stay you, man. Thanks for the support. I appreciate you. And hope time flies, man, and you out of there. But have a great day, Paul. Yeah, Darius in the building. What up, D? I hope you're doing good, Darius. Thank you for rocking with the Kid 44 Club in the building. Thanks for the love, y'all. But yeah, man, it's not saying think outside the box or you have to. I just think that there's some of these things are real, man. Ghost spirits, you know, and my cousin used to do this thing back in the days with me, right? And it was called out of body experience. And this is why I'm a firm believer with a lot of things. I'm not just d hugging and saying things. Zay Dollar, once again, coast to coast AM, that'll let you know who I am. Very conspiracy like, into the exorcisms, like I said, ghosts, Bigfoot, aliens, what's that called when they when they take you, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, damn, I forgot. But yeah, man, I was big into that, bro. Like too many folks know about it, can't lie anymore. It is an AI. Yeah, you can't lie about this anymore. The ships that landed in Roswell, the ships that landed in South America, the various crashes in all over this world. Antarctica probably has a lot of history, a lot. Remember, Antarctica, you know why they don't want us over there? Because if shit melts, it's gonna reveal a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff, man. And it's also going to prove that, wherever it was cold, once it becomes hot, wherever it's hot, you know, a lot of folk know that Saudi Arabia, Egypt, a lot of that area before it turned desert was a luscious forest. It was luscious greenery. That's why they chose to live there. It was a beautiful place. The Fertile Crescent, a lot of waterways, a lot of fresh waterways underneath the lands as well. They found out that a lot of water is running underneath those pyramids. Hence my theory on those may be generators. Those were some type of power structures that maybe gave power to, residents or, just the overall. Cause when we see remnants, we don't understand that these things were a city. Shit was live. You know what I'm saying? Tigers and all type of creatures walking. They love cats, man. Dragons. A lot in the 1500s, 14, man. During my favorite culture or people group of people were the Vikings, man. They had a lot of writing. Well, Vikings don't have a lot of history out there. They're finding more and more. But a lot of other people put in their books about dragons and how real they were. But you just got to do your history. A lot of books, have a lot of secrets in them because there was a time when I was growing up, they allowed a lot of authors to just, you know, tell it how it was, man. But they misconstrued fiction between nonfiction, and they started putting real shit with, fiction, making it like, yeah, that's nothing. But you know, how many years they told us that aliens wasn't real, and now they want to say they are. So wait, you guys actually were lying to us. I don't trust people who lie to me once. That's how it goes, man. Support the channel. Thank you, Darius. I've been also researching about underground jungle in Tennessee. What about that? Crazy ish. Yes. Yes. How ancient America truly is. Hmm. Hmm. A lot of folk need to understand that a lot of the continents were one big whole land, which must have been a beautiful time to live in, right? But regardless of cars, a lot of folk walked and got to places, man. And wherever they lay they had, they built, they just lived. That's why the Aztecs, the Mayans, uh, there's so many cool cities that were built. And then, like Nene said, man, let's talk about the underground. A lot of cultures built underground, and that just makes me think that A, the ice age was real, and B, whatever was upstairs was so dangerous that motherfuckers needed to stay down there. You understand? So, more people are real, man. That whole and once again, they find what's in Europe, those catacombs. They got catacombs. That means cities. That means people were living underground for centuries. You know how many bones are underneath there? And then they place them in this cool artistic way, just a bunch of skulls, a bunch of arms, and just wildness, man. Look at all these mountains. Most of them are petrified giants. Yes. I love going through that. I forgot the guy's name, man. I'm sorry. I got to do my due diligence more. But my shit is random. But I need a laptop though next to me. But yeah, man. A lot of rocks, mountains. You look from different angles. That's a face. That's a person. That's a petrified human being, man. And that's what happens when the sun hits you for so long. You know what happens when the sun hits dirt? You ever been to a desert like the that valley? That shit turns into concrete. It gets hard. So just imagine centuries, millennia. That shit turns into a mountain, man. Mark into chat. What up, Mark? How you doing? I just shaved my entire body. That's what's up, man. I hope you stay fresh, man. Some of these old huge banks and churches were built way before the fake date added it to them. Yup. I've been watching legit channels about it. That's another thing, man. Timeline not adding up, ladies and gentlemen. Timeline is not adding up, man. First of all, they keep pushing Egypt back further and further and further. And I think we're going to realize that Egypt was a metropolis, man. We're going to figure out that Atlantis was real, man. You know, not Da Vinci, but who's the Greek philosophers? A lot of Greek philosophers in their books wrote, they say underground, you can go to New York to Cali. Yes, yes. We got to learn more, man. They say they got trains built like the rich, they know how to, like you said, from NY they out of here, man. They in Cali in the submarine, whatever. But underground cities, man. Mark here watching. I got you. Thank you, Mark, for everything, man. We're a cool crowd in here, Mark. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Underground cities, labyrinths, um, catacombs, like I said, churches that date back way, why churches, church was a very, very prominent building. That was one of the first things they would build when they laid their hat was a church, man. And I don't know who, because I still think a lot of giants built shit, but yo, the architecture behind some of these castles, some of these churches are outrageous. And churches are scarier than a motherfucker, man. They got gargoyles outside, they got various entities, symbolism. If you understand symbols, right? And various pictures and things, yo, a whole meaning come around, man. A whole meaning. You understand a lot of stuff with the symbolism, and they, a lot, they use a lot of Nike. They use a lot of symbolism from the Greek times. The medical office, the pole with the snake and all that shit is old school, man. Symbolism, man. We jacking a shit just like P Diddy was jacking samples. Yo, we were jacking. That's why I didn't like when they were literally destroying old remnants to put up a modern piece of caca. I didn't like that, man. The way the world looked in the 20s and 30s, man. Yo, there was still fucking like architecture that they didn't even know where it was from. Come on, Mark. Subscribe, hit the like. Thank you, Nene. Thank you, Darius. Chill vibes in here. Like, yeah, man. I got the big wolves in town now, man. So all the trolls, you guys, you're gonna need more help, man. You're gonna need more help. But let us discuss what we discussing. Go to another channel and jerk off there, all right? Be good, man. Batter, 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 swing, batter, 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 bing. Later. The fuck? I'm gonna be a tough guy and think that it's gonna rock. Because everywhere I go, people don't like to stick with. Nah, this group stick with me, man. Yep, we on hours over here. So let us discuss what we was discussing, and you could go talk about Roblox and Fortnite skins. We over here talking real stuff, man. But yeah, man. Yo, Giants, man. Yo, they got places by Italy. I forgot which island off the coast. They got these buildings that like is impossible. It's impossible. Yo, we got fucking all type of, things that help build now. I forgot the name. Damn, but and they still can't build a pyramid. Yo, those blocks are tons, and they always specify where the blocks came from. It's not like there was a little thing here and they just put the blocks there. No, they had to ship the blocks from up down the valley in boats or however, and then place them via either slave work. And that's another thing I don't like. They like to do ancient aliens. Yes, I think there was a higher power that taught us, but I don't think they, maybe they did, because I also believe in sound being used to move blocks, right? But yo, man, Theo Zay, my doctor appointment is tomorrow, just to give you some notice and heads up. I got you, Darius. Everybody wish Darius a good one at that doctor's appointment, man. Even if it's routine, we still want you to come out and be healthy, pa. Have a good one tomorrow. And yeah, man, I'm going to support and I send my positivity towards your way. How about that Dawson dude that saw a giant on top of a mountain that died mysteriously after he was being followed? I know Nene heard about the in Afghanistan, 07, 08 Desert War. A bunch of troops got they fought like a little dude, and they were like they get to a point where they just see guns and like clothes. They're like, what the fuck is going on here? Yo, word to mother, they said they followed the creature into a cave and the nigga had red hair. And like, no problem, Darius. Send love, hugs, and prayers. That's a fact. We got you, D. But yeah, man, the Afghanistan thing, man, the giant had red hair. Nigga killed, he murdered. And then they come back here and was like, yo, and it's funny because they said the story immediately. And I don't know, they hugged it mad quickly too, man. Like soldiers was like, "Yo, we saw some shit." They were like, "Yo, wait, Vanna White dyed her hair yesterday." Whoa, you know what I'm saying? Like trying to, like, oh shit, Donald Trump, you got a pimple, like, like they know how to, that's why the media controls all. Because in our parents' day, people don't understand this. In our grandparents' day, the TV depicted everything. You got your news. There was no internet that you could double check it. So you really believed in what they were saying. That's why I say to say this. When I thought about various other places in the world or in our country, LA, oh, don't go there, drive-bys, don't go to cat, you know what I'm saying? Like it was just, and these were the rumors or stories we got. So that's what it was. Don't go to New York. They're going to rob you. Be careful. Ah, it's too crazy. Yeah. It is what it is. I think that, there's bad apples everywhere. But yeah, a lot of places got you know, a bad name because, at the time we only had this one reference. And now the media can't control it because we have a plethora of other ways of getting information. And they don't like that. That's why they sprinkle in crazy, crazy, right? We'll be talking about giants, and then they'll be like, "Yeah, but you saw the seven-leg spider that ate the man." And it's like, no, some of that shit is fake, fake, and some of it is real, real. But yo, Afghanistan, ladies and gentlemen, fucking giant was fighting with the army, man. They said bullets was repelling off the nigga. Boom, 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 boom. I think they said they injured him, but yo, it was a giant, man. And I believe it because Christopher Columbus. Check this out, everybody. You remember those guys, Ferdinand, and all those weird, Spanish sailors. So you got to understand. Back in the days, you would needed to get sponsored because it cost a lot of money to have food on a ship and people, right? So a lot of times you would talk to like a high ranking, person and give him, yo, I want to go over here because I think this is here, and when I come back, I'm gonna give you, the gold. And that's why a lot of times, we did what we did. But yeah, you would get sponsored. Long story short, I think it was Ferdinand, whatever, the Gasco, whatever, whoever, man. They were like, yo, we landed. We saw American Indians, and right behind them, we saw 12-foot, 15-foot giants. They said they were putting, and remember, the Indians were at war with each other. So in the book, it was like, yo, giants was fighting giants, and then they always say the tale that there was only a few giants left, and they murdered everybody. They got rid of them, but I still think a lot of them, you know, just ducked down and just survived how they survived, man. Or something real, since the internet folks don't store info like we did because we read books and encyclopedias. Information for them is erased from their memory almost immediately. That's a fact. It really is a microwave society, meaning the way you they digest content is very blender the blender machine, right? It whips up the bananas and then it's a drink. They take it and they don't absorb it. They don't place it in there because they just flipping through. Us, when you will read something, see, reading is a powerful thing. They don't want us to do anymore because reading, you do two things when you're reading. A, you absorb and you acknowledge. What's the word? Like, you basically you understand, right? You break it down into an understanding. And then the second thing we do is create an imagination, a visual. So while we're reading, we're literally creating a visual template that actually we make the scene in front of us. When you're reading a book, it's like, that's why a lot of people that did movies off of books like Lord of the Rings or Matrix or all those other joints came out beautiful because your imagination, that's all it took, man. The director just read it and boom, he's seen the scene, man. Gone set in the big flood, which wiped the giants out. Yup, yup. That's why I'm trivia. I used and yo, Nene, back in the days, how many shows we had that were like trivia shows, even though they weren't, doing what we saying, but they still, information was still Jeopardy. The game shows back in the days was trying to educate folk. Now the game shows are just like, can I call a friend? Whatever. I still think Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is still a good one, but there's a lot of goofy game shows that don't, educate like we used to, you know. The other day thought I was using Google. What the hell? That's why I'm a trivia master. The kid in the chat the other day thought I was using. Yeah, yes. He was like, "Yo, she ain't know these answers." I'm like, "Yes, she does. Trust me, man." We were from an era where we literally had 40 to 50 phone numbers in our domers. I was gonna say domicile, but yo, in our brains, man. Literally, your mother, yo, 718-243-8889. Like, yo, what's my man's number? Blah, blah, blah. No paper, nothing. We remembered all the fucking numbers in our dome. I miss Cash. Yo, Cash Cab. That was another cool one because it was trivia and it blessed you with the paper and they took you to your spot. So by the time you got there, you might have, garnered like a couple hundred, right? Beautiful times, beautiful times. And remember, you could sell, like, people started looking for the cab because it had like light, whatever. But shout out to Cash Cab, man. What's going on, Hellboy? Thank you for rocking with me, man. I appreciate you your supporting and your thumbs up and all that good stuff, man. Thank you, thank you. Yup. Me too, man. 718. I ain't gonna say the rest, but yeah, numbers stuck with us for real. You had to remember because when you were outside, your mother gave you two things: a 50 cent or like a couple of quarters, so you could use a payphone. And people, they were payphones outside, man. I miss those days. Give us a payphone again. It was 25 cents, click, and you got the. And if you knew, you could have your man call back that number. That number was a real number. So sometimes you could wait outside of it. Yo, what up, son? Like, yo, that's a house phone, nigga. And it wasn't tracked. That's why they got rid of them because somehow the number couldn't be tracked or something. Like, that's why a lot of dealers used to run the phones. You know what I'm saying? Thank you again, Auntie Nene and Theo Zay, for your prayers and hugs. Yeah, we got you, Darius. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy that we remember numbers like that. Hellboy, that's a fact. Welcome, Hellboy, to the live stream. Yeah, baby. It don't. It doesn't. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all, that it doesn't. That's very, very, very scary, ladies and gentlemen. Very scary because that means a lot of things if you can't obtain information, you know? That means a few things. You're easily weighed or woed, meaning like, you don't stand on nothing because you're not informed, right? Or you don't want to be informed. So 1 minute you could be Democrat, the next Republican. Like these motherfuckers is wishy washy too much today. You know, gotta stand on what you say the first time. That's why we didn't just say anything. That's why we wasn't like, yo, what religion? Oh, because if you say something, you gotta, stand on it. You know what I mean? But they think they smarter or hard head. Yeah, it makes a soft ass. That's a fact. Yo, there's payphones at the trolley stop in San Diego, and they are 50 cent and still work. I used the other day. It was very nostalgic for me. Shout out to Hellboy. That's what I'm talking about, pa. Thank you, Nene. Thank you, Nene. Motherfuckers don't know how to act still. Am I doing something wrong? Any do I got a gun or am I yo, what up, gangster? Like, am I like why the energy for just like sometimes it's just hate. 66 Club, I like that. But if you don't know Hellboy, we were talking about Coast to Coast AM. We were talking about the meteor that dropped in Ohio, and then they blessed me with this information, and they started seeing Bigfoot. The question was, do you believe in Bigfoot? Donald Trump released a long time ago, obviously, that aliens are real. So we're just getting to the point where a lot of our conspiracies we thought and used to tell people that were real, that's they're actually saying, yeah, it is real. And we're like, we knew, motherfucker. Why you guys was lying for so long? You made movies off the shit. Hit the gym. Yeah, man. Gotta hit the gym. Oh, who said that? D'Lo Brown. Hernan Cortez after he got asked. Yeah, baby. What's going on, Brown? Hope you and your family stay blessed. Have a great day. And thanks for rocking with me, man. I appreciate your time and your support. Thank you, D'Lo. That was a good comment. Thank you, man. Nah, for real, D-Lo. Sometimes, yo, just being you and just, speaking how we speaking is a good thing, man. A lot of folk don't entertain that. So I gotta give flowers where they do, man. Stay blessed too, pa. I think not all of us gotta be acting ghetto and crazy and think that we gonna fight everybody and win. You know what I'm saying? You win some and you lose some. That's just the name of the game, man. No, once you start letting a lot of trolls in, more will come, disrespecting and ruin the channel. I see it all day. And why does that's so real? That hate breeds hate faster. Like the multiplication of it is way faster than love. I'm over here being, positive, low mannered, calm, addressing my audience, in a positive way. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, y'all. If you don't know, I added some new flower pots to a couple of the guys. We got some new pots. You know what I'm saying? That one just fell. But yeah, man. Look how big the wire's getting on this guy. We love you, Poppy. We love you. Stay beautiful, man. Gotta talk to your plants, man. Let me see. I'm a nice troll. Don't worry. What up, Trey? How you doing, Trey? I think we live in a firmament and we can't leave. And I also think that Earth is stationary and we're not spinning at 1 million billion miles per hour like they say. Shit, my face a rip off, man. None of it adds up. None of it makes sense. The gravity and how only Earth has gravity. Hit the weights. I got that. Thank you, Trey. I appreciate you. People don't fight nowadays, sadly. What up, Lemon Lime? Thank you for that one. I'm not sure about what's outside of the firmament. I don't know, so I can't really. Yeah, we don't know if it's alien space. We don't, a lot of, what bugs me out is a lot of times they go, yo, we got pictures of planets, but they're AI generated. It's like, I don't know what was going on, man. And why can't we just go back to the moon? Now we got real good 4K cameras. I want to see what the moon about, man. They said they dropped something and shit rang like a bell for like 2 hours. The hell's going on with that planet? Or whatever that is. It's not a planet, right? It's just a rock, they say. A very bright rock that lights up the sky at night, huh? These are handicapped kid who has Alexa speaking for him, but who gets an insult 6.5 million subscribers isn't worth your dignity. That's a factory. Hit the weights. Thank you. Thank you. What's up, Trey? Welcome to the live stream. It takes more muscles, to frown than it does to smile. That's a factory. Tread light, Trey. Haha. Darius hit the gym. Welcome, Lemon Lime, to the live stream. Then they hit the gym. Trey. Everybody hitting the gym, huh, Trey? But yeah, man. Um, And let me tell you a little secret about that gym talk, man. So I always give this perfect example. Random. All my friends that do marathons or they wake up in the morning and do running, right? They always have to drain water from their knees. They've been through two, three knee surgeries, shoulder, this, that, ligament pull, this, that. So I'm like, how healthy? I think everything in moderation, ladies and gentlemen. If you're able to bust a couple of push-ups and sit-ups and then do some walking, because walking is one of the healthiest things you could do for your heart. Sitting down on your ass ain't a good thing, but yeah, man, there's something about that, the gym thing. Then I see a lot of videos of people doing at the gym just dying, their heart. It's a lot of stress, And then the older you get, you're supposed to be tranquilo. Why you think people in Italy live to like 120? Walk 10K steps a day. Thank you, Trey. Yo, random. One of my favorite joints is a documentary. Guarantee I'm stronger than you, cuz I got a bow flex in the basement. You pull around 105 German Shepherd every day. Holla at your boy, Nene. But yeah, man. So there's this old lady. She's in Italy, right? And she's drinking wine, smoking a cigarette. And the camera crew comes over and they go, "Hey, what's up? How old are you?" She goes, "I'm 108." They were like, "Whoa, 108." She goes, "Look, every doctor and the guy, he goes, 'Oh, snap, I see you smoking and drinking.' And she goes, 'Yo, every doctor that told me to quit cigarettes, they're dead.'" So it's something about wanting to live. There's something about, turtles. They move slow, right? And they live hundreds of years. Sharks very gracefully move slow. So there's something about tranquilo, take it easy. They got us into these programs where we're rushing, driving fast, doing this fast. I think you're running to your end, man. Tranquilo, take it easy. Shout out to you, Trey. Big dude, big guns. You hurt? Pause. Nice go shape too. What up, Zane? I appreciate you, Zane. Crazy how all these astronauts want to expose the BS. The gig's up. That's a fact, man. You know, you know what's also wild, Nene and everybody? They caught a couple of these astronauts, right? When they landed or did interviews in the what, let's say 60s, 70s, even 80s, right? And a lot of them were saying things that weren't coinciding with, they were like, we saw things flying outside the window. um just I don't know. Who knows, right? And then the thing about Stanley Kubrick about filming the moon landing, you know how come the flag was waving if there's no central gravity? You're right. Like, there's a lot of things that make you think and question, you know what I'm saying? And now with these AI videos, we don't know what's going on, because they're getting too good that it's not I'm not going to tell. I could tell now still, but I think they trying to, you know what I mean? That's why Minority Report and that new movie Mercy that just came out, which is like, you know preemptive, saying you did something before you did it, or maybe putting you in a place you was never there. But a lot of us are solitude, so we don't have alibis. That's why you need a house full of people, or make sure you on PlayStation online, nigga. Cause yo, they be like, "Yo, you was over here, you murdered two people." No, nigga, I was playing NBA 2K. Goofy, stop the lies. Thank you, Darius. Dude, I eat punks like you for breakfast. What up with the space weapons? You think any astronauts caught a Martian body? I actually heard that they did though. You know what I mean? Who knows, man? Who knows what was happening? Because they don't tell us the truth, man. And I'm just a Puerto Rican down under, man. You know, I wish I knew more info and shit. I don't want to lie to you, Zang, but I hear a lot of tales about recovering of bodies of alien, creatures. So I believe that. You know what I'm saying? And I also believe after the 50s or 40s, when those crafts landed, for some reason in the 60s and 70s, the expansion of technology was tenfold. So let's say the introduction of the radio to the TV to the computer was, it keeps getting shorter. Like, so whatever technology they gave us, or we using, is just, because think about that, for like until the 1950s or 40s, shit was just plain old horse or whatever. Then boom, motherfuckers had cars, TVs. Now I can see the boxing fight. Oh Lord, holy moly! And the Titanic was a setup, and yeah, they got rid of them bankers. All the richest bank owners were on that ship, and they all died. Yup. You know, I remember there was a story of I don't know if it was J.P. Morgan, or one of them niggas was like, they were about to go, and they were like, something, they missed the, and woof. But yeah, man, the ship. What they said, the ship that won't sink. That shit. That shit was a damn lie, man. Nene, so you trying to fight or something? Yo, Trey, just be. Yo, it's a. That's another thing. She's a female, man. Like, why would you know what I'm saying? You came in with the energy, and then when somebody meets you, that's one thing I don't like. It's like they come in with an energy, and then when you meet you, it's like, but you came in like this, you know? Titanic was a setup for real. Trey, you and the Martians need to stop hell raising and better come in peace. Thank you, Zane. Zane Way menacing. Yo, domo arigato, pa. Thank you, thank you. But yeah, man, this channel's just cool, peoples. We just talking, we just living, man. We just having an understanding and a dialogue that's consistent with, like, solution based, like I always say, and just figuring things out, man. And it's good to conversate because, I don't know everything. I didn't know about the meteor that landed in Ohio. I bet a lot of us didn't either. So, it's good to get information. And that's how I live. I live via information all day, every day. I think, history repeats itself. I always think, to win wars, it's about information, not how much money you got. Info. Think about it like this. Jeffrey Epstein, random. He was like I'm saying, information. He probably had videos of presidents or people doing wild shit, and now he had this thing on you, this information on you that could ruin you. So, you know what I mean? It was a cold world, baby, cold world, man. I'm about to stand at the plate and pop and get him out of it. Zang, exactly 100. Yeah, man. This because I also know Trey is just like, yeah, like he playing, but it's like, now we really just having a cool discussion. And thanks for coming, thanks for supporting me, or thanks for your time. I'm not like that either. I always let everybody, speak and say they mind. So I could figure you out too. I just, we just want cool activities on this side, man. There's so many channels that are negative. There's so many places and things you could do that just promote negative energy. It's like, that's why, people think that that's winning, but it's not. Because think about the misery that comes with that afterwards. Your favorite streamers that used to do that are broke now. Your favorite celebrities that used to walk head high, walk head low now. So, be careful of the energy you put out there, because it is a ferment. That shit comes right back. Just be careful. Everything in the world is not what it seems at all, and people just need to take all the information given very lightly and not seriously, Hellboy. When I see somebody that is religion based and they take every word, I'd be like, tranquilo, pa, yo, relax. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool. But we only got one of these lives, man, and I don't want to ruin it, not being, enjoying it, and also, not being an asshole, not being a scumbag, right? Like, I don't want to, people be at my funeral like, that nigga was corny. He was always, you know what I'm saying? Nah, man. I got a lot of people that know Zay for Zay, and I think I'm a loving person. I don't care, but she can't cry when that energy come back to her. Yeah, but bro, she's still a female, and B, this channel wasn't for that energy anyway. You know what I mean? I'm 11 subs away from 50. Woo, Hellboy. We supporting you, baby. Everybody jump on Hellboy's joint, man. And then he gonna say that. Come on, Trey. Get it together, man. Respect Nene, please, man. And I ain't one of them suckers that's not gonna say that either. I got that. I like Nene. You know what I'm saying? As a person, she cool as hell. But just respect, man. That's all we ask, man. Is just respect the ladies, man. You could come at me like that, but everybody else, respect. Because they just remember everybody just coming in here and watching me. You can't attack. Like it makes no sense. That's like being at a baseball game and everybody's chilling and you want to be, you know, be careful, pa. Now everybody be playing. Ain't nothing wrong with saying hit the gym. No, there ain't nothing wrong with that. That's why I was like, yeah, I gotta hit the gym. But let it be. That's it, man. That's it, man. You know, just me being the bigger man, I'd be like, yo, my bad, Nene. I was just saying hit the gym. Like LOL, whatever. But let's go back to a fresh start. Who knows if we were supposed to be cool friends, right? You don't know, man. You know, put your left foot in, put your right foot out. Put your left foot in and shake it all about. Bam, bam, bam. Oh, $8, $8. Random. But yeah, man, life is supposed to be lived, and that's why I don't understand this generation. Like the yo, give me your location. Like you inviting death, man. You don't know what people are capable of. And then people like, yo, I'm smoking. I got a pack of your mans. Like, yo, yo. When people look, it was used once. In 1997, it was used when the Outlaws was like, we gonna smoke on a dead homie. They put Tupac's ashes in a blunt and smoked him. That was a thing of acknowledging him. Like, we love you, Tupac. Somehow down the line in 2011, 12, they started like saying, yo, I'm smoking on your man, your dead man's, man. And that's not a good thing, man, especially if you didn't know that man. A lot of people play with death and, they got the knocking at the door for real, man. But yeah, man, just respect, man. See what I Yeah, man, just respect, man. Like I say, you don't know what somebody's capable of or who they know or what they about. I think both of those, the lack, she don't lack in any of those areas, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and then they just cut, just you see. And I told people sometimes people could rub you and you could just jump in a little bit, but just know that I'm not somebody you could mess with. That's all. And that's why we respect Nene. I think we all can agree on that one. From Christie's to Darius's to Hellboy. You know what I mean? But I think there's always been a firm respect for Nene because she always contributes on the better end all the time. So I'm always going to respect that. Salute to you, ma. And that's a great segue to say this is like taking life serious is an important thing. Everybody, becoming disciplined in the game of life, meaning like you understand life. You know, as long as you're not leeching and you're doing it, what up, yo, Frank in the building. What up, compay? It's my kneesy, man. Same here in 36, and they think I'm 26. Yeah, man. And that's another thing, man. I know, but what up, Frank? I'm just gonna say that one more time, man. But just I know I look young, man. I took care of my body. Yeah, you might see the smoking cigarettes and the weed smoke, but let me tell you, until maybe 40, 41, I played basketball. I was into handball. I love sports, right? Football. Every winter when it was snowing in New York, we would get the guys together and play tackle football. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to that. Shout out to, yeah, I had my appendix, had my hernia, I broke a couple joints, my ankle, whatever. That's life. But I think, physically staying inclined with yourself, staying, especially in your younger years, if you have the youth behind you, use it. Because there's gonna be a time where your body does say tranquilo, take it slow, papi, God damn, Trey, you one of them ones, man. My man, You a funny dude, Trey. I'll give you that, man. Someone said that to me the other day. Welcome to the live stream, Frank. Yeah, Darius Frank, one of them ones, man. Yo, I love Puerto Rican food. So fire. I used to live in Florida and it was everywhere. Yeah, yeah, Hellboy. One day I do the right arroz on, with chuletas, you know what I'm saying? Catalina Island, I have. That's wild that you say that, Catalina Island. I've heard of it though. I think something bad happened there, was it? A bad storm or something? But yeah, yo, Hawaii, random Hawaii got hit. Jason Momoa. If you don't know, Jason Momoa is a actor. He did Minecraft. He does a lot of cool things. He was in Game of Thrones. But long story short, yo, he's out there trying to say, yo, I'm trying to get back. Yo, it just is wild, you know? So shout out to Hawaii, man. And this is what I mean about the heat. The heat is causing a lot of stronger weather effects. And I don't know what's causing the heat, but damn, it's a different hot. You know what I'm saying? What up, Babe Bros? Hi, Babe Bros. Welcome back, babe. Hold on. Nene, my whole life I've been around older people. That's a great thing, man. Why bring a jersey like like that back, Christy? He's clearly a drama starter. Yeah, just like yeah, you guys are, you know, Nene. Let's try to not hide, depending on what they say. They don't want them hidden. There's a thing here. Trey was tripping. Yeah, sometimes we got to get him out of there. Oh, okay. If he comes back in the BS, he's done. But start with a timeout, of course, and increase can always do 24 hours. Thank you, Christy. Yo, you girls know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You see that the energy. You see what I mean about energy? Thank you, Barbarous. Energy can affect and steer, but let's steer it back, everybody. One love. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, let's take a deep breath. Don't allow motherfuckers. I learned it the hard way, man. Troll season, man. I don't get it. I don't understand it, but it is what it is. And this is what I was trying to say. Besides the resting, I hope everybody's resting up with those weather effects that are happening all around the world. But that's dope. I'll be in the side of the world in 2 months. That's fire. Let's go. One love, man. Thank you. But yeah, man. There's a lot of craziness happening on this earth, man. And yeah, the weather effects are getting dangerous and more dangerous, man. But oh yeah, back to the steering of energy, and that's it's a powerful thing, man. We were just saying how hate likes to breed hate faster. That's why okay, perfect example is you ever seen like a protest? Everything is going good until that one motherfucker throw a brick at the store, and then everybody was almost dying for that to happen. Like so. It's very easily started, man. A fire could get started and spread very quickly. That's how I think, that's another great example or analogy. You can't let them negative energy disrupt your peace of mind. That's the fact. And what can't you buy, everybody? Can't buy peace, man. You could buy a crib next to the lake, but who knows? You might have a dude that knows you living there now. He comes out with a boom box and his fishing thing. Like, yo, everybody like to be annoying, man. I don't like that. You ever notice that, man? You in a movie theater and you sitting all the way by. There's 1,000 seats. Motherfuckers want to sit on the same lane. Like, yo, son, I'm trying to be away from motherfuckers. I'm a very damn humans. Can we be cool again? Thank you, Nene. Off the grid, girl. I protect my energy like that. It's money in the bank, and I don't let anyone. I have to learn from you, Hellboy. That's a great way to think about it, protecting your energy, making sure it doesn't get influenced by outside influences that literally leave the crib trying to do wrong. I don't, yo, look, this is what I was going to say, man. Random. AOL, you've got mail. Yo, motherfuckers didn't know each other from a fucking hole in the wall, man. The most we said to each other was ASL, age, sex, location, man. Why wasn't we like that, man? How come we wasn't like that? So that's how I know it's something that is either being bred or they just are becoming because we weren't like that. We didn't go to somebody else's page and say something negative. We just really didn't do it. And of course, you had trolls. Yes, we used to call them trolls back then too. Yes, you had people that try to, fire starters, they called, right? Yo, that movie, yeah, with Justin Timberlake. You think I can be a mod? I've always wanted to see what is just for a minute at least. I guess. Can I take him off if I do? Whatever. There you go, Bob Ross. Bob Ross. I saw that Hellboy. That was crazy. Yup. Generation X isn't about the BS. That's a fact. I'm good. Thank you, Bob Ross. I protect my energy. That's a great one. That's why I'm moving. Yep. I'm so happy for that, Nene. I saw that Hellboy. Yup. Thank you. No problem, man. You know, I don't have any, I don't know people to have any bad, uh, negative towards. That's where my brain is like, I don't understand it because I don't know you. Like, I understood, yo, you took money from me. Yo, it is like, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit happened. But yo, I don't know you. Why do I have this energy for you? Yo, my mom just always told me, man, yo, you never know who that person could be in your life or who they are. So always, come in with a clean slate. And if they act disruptive, sometimes you gotta meet crazy with crazier. I understand that. But at the end of the game, man, you ain't gonna take my energy, man. Like I said, I chill with people that literally for I would smoke a L with motherfuckers and be tired. And then go out with a crew of motherfuckers and you up 24 hours and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it really is like that, everybody. Yes, you can. My friend's channel got destroyed by mods and took it back. Now only me and another mod are still there. Almost feel bad that I gotta do this, but hit the gym. Especially you, Nene. Hit the gym. Oh, Trey is inevitable. That nigga doing magic acts. Now you could really get him out of here. What the hell? Nigga got that much energy. The nigga created 3 names already. Damn, Bob Ross, you making me feel like I'm I show speed or somebody, man. Damn. Lucky I only gave him standing moderator. Shit, took that shit back early. But yeah, we grew up with the Wonder Woman. Nowadays, you have to wonder if he. Woo, Frank, let's go. That's the thing, man. Yo, remember this, y'all? Remember this? A mother holding the hand and grabbing the son and or licking her finger and getting rid of the dirt on his face. Now I see kids with. I'm like, yo, lady, you need a wet wipe. That your kid got moco juice or like. Yo, my son got the ice cream from yesterday still over here. Yo. Love these internet gangsters. Yeah, man. I wouldn't have messed none, and I'm not a whole a-hole just trolling. Thanks for playing along. I appreciate you, Bob Ross, Trey, whatever your name is, man. Have a great day, pa. That was random. That's exactly what my channel is, I guess. Random. Motherfucking life is like a movie. I always say it. My judgment is always on point. Wouldn't have owned a number one business and a hospice nurse. Yep. Shout out to you, man. And it's messed up, Nene, that we're at a world where in order to respect me, you gotta see my resume, or in order to give me good words, I gotta look like, jewelry, or I gotta look a certain way. And it's like, yo, man, come as you are, man. Nirvana. Hashtag Nirvana. Come as you are. As you came in a long memories. Oh, carry on. Come out, burn on the bed. Remember, and I don't have a gun. Yo, that's my son. Shout out to R.P. Browner, man. Yo, I used to, Yotero. Uh, man, there's so many. I think Your Tarot was one of my favorites, but yeah, so many great albums, man. Shout out to yeah, man. Shout out to the boy in the water with the ding a lang a lang school bella ring. Yo, I seen that T-shirt everywhere. I seen the Nirvana T-shirt everywhere, man. So shout out to Nirvana. I just got hype off of Nirvana, man, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, man, I'm from an era where music made my day. It helped me get through times. It motivated me to do this. It got me across that. It gave me confidence to do this. So shout out to music, man. That's when artists were artists, and it was fundamentally in the blueprint to be different from the next artist. It was ingrained to be yourself, to not act like a goofball thug and get your shit shot because you wasn't about that action. You know, a lot of, you see it all the time. A lot of artists that were really like, they were wild, but they chose, whoever, you know what I'm saying? Even Fuji's, their music was nice, but I heard Clef and Pras, they had hands, man. But yeah, man, music used to be a definition of who you are, and it wasn't supposed to make you do harm because they knew how powerful the tool of the voice was, how powerful the tool of the frequency and music was, you know. And they learned it from their, founding fathers and like us, and we just saw the gangster just that's what was selling, and it took a lot of kids from their moms, man. It made a lot of boys into men either early, but the street not the that street it didn't pay it wasn't worth it because like I always say it paid the bills, but it wasn't in the end game. They were right, at least to jail or death. But hit that thank you like comes as a true real one. D, love your sweet soul. Yeah, word, man. Darius is one of them ones, man. You just gotta like, just stay humble and just, I don't know, cause you did exactly. There go Rowdy. What up, clown? How you doing, Roddy? Thank you, Auntie Nene. Love you. Yeah, man. That's fucking Nene, man. Why would you like stop, man? Like, and I hate that they had to see like, like we already know. Don't mess, you know what I'm saying? That's Auntie Nene, man. The fuck? But yeah, everybody, I appreciate, the thumbs up. We still riding. We grooving on one of these Mondays. And if everybody started the work week, you're grinding. I hope time is flying. It's 11:30 a.m. where I'm at. Um, we ran it up a good hour and change. So yeah, man, I appreciate everybody. Thanks for the support. I'm gonna go do some laundry right now. And yeah, I'm gonna hit the gym, man. Stop it. Stop the games, everybody. Thank you, man. But I appreciate you, Darius, Nene, Christy, even Rowdy, Frank, you know, uh definitely ain't gonna say that name. But yeah, man, Hellboy, stop the games, man. You know, we had a good one, man. We like I say, it always starts great. We had a great discussion. I learned a lot from you, Nene. We learned a lot from Hellboy. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna use that energy bank shit. And like I say, man, it's a good way to start your day. We have a great conversation. You guys have full input, full autonomy on in my channel, meaning like it goes hand in hand. So that's what I exactly want my channel to be. Is like a more I'm touching my audience, pause, but like what I mean. Like we having and we talking real life shit. Like I say, man, one day somebody gonna break this down into like a documentary and be like, yo, them motherfuckers, they were talking their shit. Cause that's another reason why I read y'all comments and address your names. So God forbid, motherfuckers know what's happening on the end of all of us. But everybody stay blessed, you know what I mean? Stay positive, you know what I mean? Have a great day. And once you get off the grid, I'm coming through. We live it. But holla, everybody. Stay you, never change. We inside, we outside, we everywhere. Randoms, $8, $8, $8. Peace, everybody. Love y'all. Be good. Have a great day, man. Have a great one. Peace, everybody. It's $8 random. We outside. Look at that beautiful view. Look at that blue sky, man. It's hot. I'm sorry. I'm steaming, Willie beaming. Holla. Be good, y'all. Have a great day. Peace. Thank you, everyone.